What if I told you that some of the most loved guitar tones ever recorded didn't come from giant stacks, but from little amps barely pushing 5 watts? Pretty wild, right? This video is all about the best 5-watt tube amps, and I've matched each pick to fit a few different categories, so you can find the one that feels right for your needs. You'll find all the links to the amps down in the description, so you can check them out anytime. And if you like this kind of content, go ahead and tap the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. If you have any questions, thoughts, or even suggestions, the comment section is open. I'd love to hear from you. With that out of the way, let's get into the reviews. Bujera G5 Infinium, best overall 5-watt tube amp. This little head is what I'd call the best all-around pick in the 5-watt range. It packs enough features to keep things fun without being overwhelming. You get 2 channels, so one moment you can keep things nice and clean, and the next you can roll into some gritty overdrive that works great for blues or classic rock. One thing that really stands out is the power control. You can switch between 5 watts, 1 watt, and even 1/10 of a watt. That means you can crank the tubes without making the neighbors want to file a noise complaint. It's kind of like having a sports car that actually works in a school zone. There's also this morph knob that lets you sweep between more of an American flavor and a British flavor. It's pretty handy if you like to experiment with tones. Plus, the built-in reverb gives some space to your sound, though it's not the kind of reverb that will blow anyone away. The tubes are kept in check by a system that helps them last a lot longer, which is a nice touch for anyone who doesn't feel like swapping them out often. At a mid-range price, it brings a lot of value to the table. Monoprice Stage Right, best budget 5-watt tube amp. If you're looking for something that won't empty your wallet, this little combo checks a lot of boxes. It may be budget-friendly, but it still delivers that warm, rich tube feel people are after. You get a 5-watt output with a 1-watt switch, so whether you're practicing in an apartment or trying to fill a small room, it can handle both without much fuss. The clean tones are the real highlight here. Bright, sparkly, and perfect if you want to stack pedals on top. Push the volume higher, and you'll get that natural tube breakup, which has a nice bite without being too harsh. It does get louder than you'd expect for such a small box, which can be fun or a quick way to get a knock on the wall from the neighbors. Now, it's not flawless. There's only a single tone knob, so shaping your sound is limited compared to amps with a full EQ. The stock 8-inch speaker does a decent job, though some players like to swap it out for something with a bit more depth. And since it's a budget pick, there are occasional reports of reliability hiccups over time. Still, for the price, it's tough to beat what you're getting. Fender 57 Custom Champ, best vintage 5-watt tube amp. This one takes us straight back to the 50s, both in looks and in sound. With its tweed covering, leather strap handle, and that hand-wired circuit, it feels like something you'd expect to see sitting on stage at a smoky blues club decades ago. And the funny part is, even with just one knob, it delivers a tone that many players call pure magic. The cleans ring out with a clear, bell-like quality, and once you start turning that volume past 7 or 8, the amp begins to compress in a way that feels alive. The overdrive is thick, warm, and perfect for classic blues or rock lines. It's one of those amps that reacts to your touch. Pick softer and it stays clean, dig in and it starts to growl. Now, it does have a few quirks. It's much louder than you'd expect for just 5 watts, so playing late at night might be a problem without some kind of attenuator. There's no tone control either, which means the character you hear is what you get. And with a premium price, it's definitely an investment. But for players who want that vintage Fender sound straight out of the golden age, it delivers exactly that. Supro Delta King 10, best 5-watt tube amp for crunch. This one is built for grit. If you're chasing crunchy tones that break up quick and sound raw in the best way, this little combo really shines. The 10-inch speaker gives it more body than you'd expect, and with just 5 watts, you can push it into that sweet overdrive without rattling the windows. What makes it stand out is the set of extras. There's a spring reverb that adds some space, a 2-band EQ for shaping your sound, and a boost circuit that thickens things up when you need more punch. There's even a special mode that fattens the tone in a way that feels like flipping a switch from skinny jeans to baggy sweatpants. it just gets bigger. Another cool trick is the line output. That lets you run it straight into a recording setup or even into a bigger amp to use it as a tube-driven preamp. It's kind of like getting 2 amps in one box. Now, it's not perfect. Some users mention occasional hum issues, and at 26 pounds, it's a bit heavier than other 5-watt combos. Still, with a mid-range price and a crunch tone that feels alive, it's a great pick for blues and rock players who like some edge. Tone King Gremlin, best bedroom 5-watt tube amp. This one is perfect if you want those big, rich tones but don't want to shake the walls. It's built with bedroom players in mind, and the secret weapon is the built-in attenuator. You can crank it up to get that sweet tube breakup, then pull the volume back down without losing the character. That means you get late-night tones that sound like you're standing in front of a much bigger amp, just without angry neighbors involved. What really makes it fun is the 2 channels. One is based on that classic blackface style, bright, clean, and full of sparkle. The other leans more tweed, with drive that gets crunchy and raw. It's like having 2 very different amps stuffed into one box, and you can even use a foot switch to switch or blend them if you want. The 12-inch speaker gives it plenty of depth, which is something smaller 5-watt combos don't always manage. On the downside, it's pretty heavy for an amp this size, over 35 pounds, so you won't exactly toss it around. And since it sits in the premium price range, it's definitely more of an investment piece. Still, for home use, recording, and even jamming with a drummer, it covers a lot of ground. 5 watts might not sound like much on paper, but as you've heard, these little amps can cover a lot of ground, from clean sparkle to gritty crunch and everything in between. They're proof that you don't need huge volume to get great tone. If you're interested in any of the amps we talked about, the links are waiting for you down in the description. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Got a question? Drop it in the comments. And if you're still in the mood for gear talk, check out some of our other videos too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.